What's up, and welcome to Unspoken Conversations. I'm James Crow, and here we talk about issues and situations that are in plain sight. Things that people hate to talk about, but it needs to be said, from relationships, families, friends, and life. Our goal is to shed light and understanding so that just maybe we can start to rebuild relationships, families, and ultimately, our communities. What's up, and welcome back, guys. So, I'm gonna do another review in this, and I want you guys to check something out. So, it's about two women specifically. Now, this is the GFY show, and yeah, and there's Brittany Renner on here, and then there's Pearl Davis. But my reason for bringing this on is because I want to show you the difference between there's two different types of women. There's two different types of women. Now, I don't want to make this a black and white thing. I don't want to make it nothing about that. But just listen to the type of language that these two different women use, how the two different types of women come across. I want you to pay attention to that. So just for a little bit of context, Brittany Renner has been on one or two or a few shows of Pearl Davis's show, which would have been, I think it was just Pearly Things or the Pearl Davis show. I'm not sure exactly which one it was. I could have swore it was just Pearly Things. Anyway, on her podcast, Brittany Renner was on Pearl's podcast. And on one of them, Andrew Tate was on there. Now, there was it was a good 3-hour show. And either way it goes, what happened was Brittany Renner kind of got a little emotional in a couple places, but she held her composure really nice. Now, I like Brittany Renner. I also like Pearl Davis. The other two women in here, I do not know who they are, but this is not about them. This is just about Pearl and Brittany. I like both of these women, but you'll pay attention to how they conduct themselves. And these two women both get drug across social media because of how they conduct themselves. So Pearl conducts herself in one way, but because she advocates for a lot of men and she advocates for a few other things, you'll see it. I don't want to bring that in there just yet. You'll see it. And then Brittany, she kind of, I don't want to say advocates for women. She does, but she also does a lot of advocating for herself. Again, that's not to talk bad about her. Brittany's just a different breed. So pay attention and you'll see exactly what's going on in here. And I don't want to bring any more context into it yet. I want you to see it first, and then I'll add a little bit to it as we go. So let's jump into this
segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull out. I see what we did there. So each host will pull something from the internet or socials that they would like to address with that specific host. Sounds a little messy. We're going to start with Pearl.
Sounds so messy.
We're going to start with Pearl.
I'm first?
Yes. I mean, at first, yeah.
Okay, so I saw something that you retweeted, Brittany. And it was something about it was something about female intuition.
Okay.
And I just don't think female intuition exists. I think female intuition is terrible.
I think it's terrible in what way?
We make terrible.
So as myself, I did a TikTok video a while back about about this. Now, I do believe it's real. I just believe, as a man, most women don't know how to use it, and they use it incorrectly. I am a guy when I say this, so don't come for me, ladies, but y'all do handle this in a way that kind of makes y'all look a little sometimes, because I know you know some of the shit that you're doing. I know you know what you're doing, but you put it on everybody else. I'm going to leave that right there.
Terrible choices as women. So people will always say, "Oh, my female intuition. I knew because of my female intuition." And yeah, I don't think it's really a thing.
Well, intuition, just simply put, is heightened awareness. And so it stems from when women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No.
Ooh, did you notice? She just took that personal. She just turned that into a Pearl thing. And Pearl didn't talk about a you thing, Brittany. Pearl said, women. Watch that.
I just look at the choices we make, you know.
We are you.
We as women.
I mean, let's make it about you. What kind of choices do you make?
Look at.
What kind of choices do you make?
Okay, what kind of choices do you make, Brittany?
So, did you see that? Brittany instantly said, what kind of do you make? You know what I'm saying? What kind of choices do you make? She said that to Pearl first. So she literally attacked Pearl. Pearl wasn't attacking her. Pearl was saying something about women. You know what I mean? And Brittany took offense. So now Brittany is ready to box. But pay attention. Watch how she handles her.
But you're the one we're talking. You're saying that females don't make good choices.
Well,
so
look at we own the majority. I have no debt, right? But women in general.
That's because you're from a rich family, girl.
In general,
women. You're from a rich family, so what are you talking about having no debt, girl?
Women in general have a
congratulations. Like you don't get a fish don't get applauded for
I'm
swimming.
Lucky. That's why I said I'm lucky.
Okay, so for you, so why lead with that? So why lead with that? So why lead with that?
You asked for an example, and I'm going to give it to you. Do you want me to start?
Girl, okay. Let me tell you what
let's talk about
what we're not going to do, because you have a history of doing this, because I'm familiar with you, okay? Girl, what you like to do is you like to say these really stupid fucking comments, right? And then so what you do, then you like sit back, and then you're like, you think you're so smart, you have this fucking smug ass look on your face, and then you're waiting for someone to give you that like emotional, like passionate response. So then you can sit there and be super dismissive and really kind of just gaslight. And I don't know, as a female.
Gaslight?
No. Yeah, do you know what that word means?
You guys use it for everything.
You guys.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know what's funny about using you guys is seriously, it kind of feels like the only thing that is actually feminine about you is that you have a vagina.
Okay.
Because I feel like, there's like a man on the panel.
Okay.
Okay, so you see, wow, she's attacking this woman on a whole nother level. Pearl's not attacking her. Pearl, if you notice, Pearl never did attack Brittany Renner. For whatever reason, and you'll see a little bit later, Brittany's got this thing out for Pearl. Why they got her on a show together, that is beyond me. But Brittany has a thing for her. She's got some get back that she wants to get off her shoulders. You know what I mean? And you can hear it. It's attack after attack after attack. Did you notice she asked a question and would not let her answer it? And as soon as she tried to answer it, it was knife from this way. It was knife from that way. She was coming at her. This type of woman is dangerous. Again, I like Brittany Renner. I like her. She's a very attractive woman. But pay attention.
What's feminine about you, Brittany?
Everything is feminine about me.
Oh, come on. Like, I'm not trying to go personal here. So I don't know why you're trying to make this personal.
No, you made it personal when you led with, hey, I don't have any debt. As if that's a flex because your parents have money.
You asked
What have you actually earned for yourself?
Brittany, you asked me. I'm saying in general, women own the majority of debt. We don't make great choices. Girl. If we look at who we pick, let's look at romantic decisions. Women don't make very good romantic decisions in general.
I think there's a point that needs to be made, though, and that's the fact that what I heard Brittany say earlier was she's talking about people who have there's a deep heightened intuition, and I think where the conversation is splitting is the fact that you're actually talking about people who don't have that, who have it turned off, who are disconnected
like her.
From their intuition, who don't make poor decisions. We make poor decisions. Like when we actually go down to the root of why it is that we make these poor decisions, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And more of it is going to come from just like the science and backing that you kind of put into collective bundles that ultimately just come from who? The white man that you were raised by. So when it comes, so when it comes
that she doesn't have any debt.
I'm just saying, so there's a certain level of understanding that's not there.
So that's not you.
So you see that. They turn it into a race thing real quick. real quick, I personally don't believe that is the only reason. Could it have something to do with it from back? It could, but that's not where this whole thing started from. That's not what's going on here. They just kind of slid that in there. So again, this other chick, I'm not sure who she is. I haven't done any research on this. This is actually the only episode that I've watched on this, and I watched this whole episode. But something tells me that all three of these women have something out for Pearl, and they want to get her, and they've been waiting to get her, and they it's finally coming out. I'd be willing to bet money that.
Making a decision, that's you being born into white privilege, and we need you to acknowledge that. So that's not a decision that you made. That is the way you came into this. And honestly, girl, you're a family of like 9 or 10. Like all that's how your dad set you up. So there are things that you genuinely did not have to experience. You don't fucking know. You get to sit there again as a mother, as a so you don't even have to make any decisions. You're the same person. You are the same person that the last time I saw you. You accidentally shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. And you get to go. You're the same person who accidentally spent $50,000 and your dad was able to pay it off on your credit card. Yes, you did when you spent.
I didn't actually.
You're the one who said an accident. I spent over my limit. That's what you said. That's what you said. So again, an unreal. That's what you said. That's what you said. The last time that I saw you. Yeah. So again, we're going back to you. Girl, what the shit that comes. That's what I'm saying. The shit that comes out of your mouth. You literally just say whatever. Shit spews because honestly, you're fucking delusional.
Brittany.
Don't Brittany. Go ahead.
Brittany,
I do think there's one thing that we have to say.
If you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like you don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. You know, I'm not here to get like that's like you don't have to be rude. I don't.
Okay, so now Pearl had every right to leave. She had every right to leave. Me personally, I probably would have left too, because at this point, there's no way to have a conversation with somebody who's just trying to throw salt, who's just trying to throw shame and trying to get it to the world. You get what I'm saying? Like literally online. Like that's it almost sounds like that's exactly what the plan was. The plan was to just straight get her on here and put a knife in her from every direction. That's just me though. That's how I see it. Because like I said, I've seen other episodes where there was a little bit of, it seemed like animosity, but it wasn't animosity. Just Pearl's a good debater. She's a really good debater. And someone else is kind of a little bit of an argumentative type of stab you on the back and cut you down as much as I can. What's understood don't need to be explained, but pay attention to that. Now this part right here, what you're looking at right here, these three are about to have a conversation about Pearl. And I don't want to say conversation. I kind of want to say, just talk a little bit about her. I don't even want to say behind her back, but just listen to what they have to say. And you'll understand what I meant when I said, I think they brought her on purposely to set her up. You know the movie Carrie, how they befriended her and then they came in there and then they dumped the blood all over her. You get what I'm saying? I think that's exactly what happened. But I'll let you listen and watch and you tell me yourself in the comments what you think. I'm almost positive that's exactly what happened. They came for Pearl on purpose.
I ain't holding shit. The fuck on.
Okay,
I
I
still
want to hear what you had to say though. So what did you? Well, I was about to just get into the point about women and having debt, because the truth of the matter is women don't make as much. It's so
they're layered. It's so
such a layered conversation. But if this. But if this
of course we are. We're so
got you mad, then my pullout was really gonna make her mad, because I was about to pull out the tweets about black women are racist. How in the fuck do you sit on a panel with 3 black women and say 3 black women are racist? But I'm gonna wait.
No, she's not coming back, because you know what we're now experiencing. This is white fragility. Remember when I said that Caitlyn and not Caitlyn herself, I'm sorry. Remember when I said that white women are very fragile? That's because of this cushion that has been created for them. So when they are confronted with truth, whether I'm at a 30 or I'm at a 3, the truth doesn't change. The reality is her and I've had conversations where she may think I'm stupid and she's saying a lot without saying a lot. Girl, I'm gonna clock that shit. So you don't get to say women don't make good financial decisions when your fucking rich ass daddy is the reason you are what you fucking are. You don't get to sit up here and fucking do that shit. Well, I'm not saying.
Oh my God.
Shut up, bitch.
Now, sorry, Brittany, but listen, Pearl has so many stats on some of this shit, and Pearl makes facts. She states facts. Women do hold the majority of the debt. But that means, I would say look it up, but I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna look it up. Think about how a woman shops. Who does the majority of the buying in any household? Is it the man that does the majority of the buying, or is it the woman that does the majority of the buying? It doesn't matter where the money came from. All I'm saying is when it comes time for buying the kids stuff, usually it's the woman. When it comes time for buying stuff in the house, usually it's the woman. When the house needs new furniture, usually the woman makes a statement. It doesn't matter if the man buys it, he's going to make sure his woman's happy. A real man, anyway, but let's not go on that. Usually, if they want new furniture, she's going to make sure she says something to him. If he's going to buy the furniture, he's going to buy the furniture. If she wants new furniture and it's her money, she's going to get that fucking furniture. So keep that in mind. And that's just furniture. You can take that all the way out to the car, to the house. If a woman wants a new house, if she's with her husband and she wants something, that man is going to make it. He's going to make it right. If not, he's going to have to hear her mouth until whenever. So most likely, when she wants something, she's going to get it. And nowadays, women make a lot of money. And that's not to say that they shouldn't. I'm saying women make a lot of money. And nowadays, women get what they want. They're going to get it one way or another. So to say that women don't hold the debt, look it up. Look it up and see how much. I'm going to leave that there, but look it up. As far as her bringing in her dad and bringing in all that stuff, yeah, Pearl may have come from a family that was pretty well off. She might have, but that doesn't make her stats wrong. It ain't like she pulled the stats from herself. She pulled the stats from out there. So it doesn't matter where her money came from. It doesn't matter that her family had money. These stats still make sense. But they're attacking Pearl as if these are Pearl's facts, stats on herself. That is not. Just listen.
It's because you feel patronized, and I understand why. Because
not going for that.
Because growing up in a household pretty much with that, I actually relate to that a lot. That's why it's like, I hear there's two different conversations going on right now, because it's like the point originally was women don't have intuition. You answered the question, which was there's a certain level of awareness that you have, and you either have it or you don't. That's where things went left, because she took that as an attack and was like, oh well, I don't have a woman's intuition. Well, what makes you?
I don't think she took that as an attack. I don't think she took that as an attack. I think she took Brittany as Brittany was attacking her. You know what I mean? So I think that's where that came from. But yeah.
A woman essentially
Trying to say what makes me feminine, bitch. You're a 6 foot fucking masculine ass fucking man, bitch. And at the end of the day, I am in a masculine role because masculine is action. So yes, I am the breadwinner in my family. Yes, I have had to get it out the mud. I've been doing this for 12 years. So I really don't want to hear somebody who comes from privilege to sit up here and say that women collectively ain't shit, can't make great decisions, and whatever the fuck. Again, bitch, if we're 4 episodes in and you're already fucking crying, bitch, get the fuck on. I'm not here to convince anybody, bitch. Again.
So, but if you're a man or a woman, ask yourself, when a man makes poor decisions, do y'all say he made a fucked up decision? When a woman makes a poor decision, do y'all say the man made a fucked up decision? No. Women do make a lot of fucked up decisions. Not all, but if you think about it, if a woman chooses wrong for a guy, she chooses the wrong guy, is that his fault or her fault? When a woman gets pregnant by the wrong guy and this guy's a piece of shit, don't take care of his kids and ain't a provider, is that his fault or her fault. She picked him. So if a woman gets a job and she wants to work at a restaurant for 20 years, 30 years, take it all into her 50s, and now she's got to retire or wants to retire from a restaurant job. Did that man make that decision? Or is that a decision that quite often a lot of women make? That's not to talk bad. It's just to back up what Pearl said. Pearl said women make poor decisions. That's all she was saying. But you see that they are not listening to that. They're coming off at Pearl from an emotional standpoint, not logical. If you listen logically, you can understand. You know what? I'm gonna let him finish.
Crying the fucking blues. Like I said, you can't be triggered if it's not true. And I'm at a 30 because I've been waiting for this bitch. I've been waiting because I went on her show. I did what I was supposed to do. I listened to her. I let her. She's a bully on her other platform. I ain't seen it yet here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, bitch,
Brittany,
keep the same energy.
I'm gonna tell you what. Are we still recording? I hope we're still recording, because I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Fuck outta here.
I was really waiting for this moment, and I knew it was gonna be messy, but I was really waiting for this moment because I have been getting drugged for the last 24 hours for doing this show. I want everyone to know that and be clear. Yeah. I have a respected career as a journalist, and I cover a league that is predominantly black and predominantly queer. And I have been sitting for the last 3 days next to someone who has used their platform to spear transphobia, homophobia, racism, xenophobia, and every other phobia that you can think of. And while my point was to say, hey, we can come here and still have conversations and still challenge those views, I have had people say to me, Tarika, I find it a little funny that you can talk about Caitlin Clark and how she doesn't address misogyny and bigotry and things of that nature, but you can sit next to someone who says all of those things, does all of those things, and you say nothing. And I want y'all to know that y'all are not wrong. Y'all are not wrong, because I don't fuck with that shit. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't do that shit, but I am a believer. I'm a believer in God. And I was gonna have a conversation today about how to move forward in my moral and like what I believe, because I believe in this show and I believe in you guys. But I was gonna have a real ass conversation today. Like, there are some things that I have to address and have to get off. And my belief and my spirit is telling me this happened for a reason. And I don't know what that reason is.
Intuition.
So you can be mad. But I don't want anyone to feel away. But I have been conflicted today, and I was really looking forward to the segment because I needed to get that
Closure
off. And I kind of, in a way, now I feel a way because I ain't one to talk about nobody behind their back. I want you to be here when I say this shit. Yeah. And now, now you're not here. So what I wanted to say is gonna fall on deaf ears.
So I respect her for that. I respect her for wanting to talk about Pearl in her face. I respect that. I do. It doesn't make sense to talk about them behind their back now that you done, pushed her off the fucking panel. But that's neither here nor there. On the other side of this, I never heard Pearl ever. I'm not saying she didn't talk about gays, queers, whatever. I never heard her talk about that. Might she have? It's possible. But Pearl has her type of thing that she does, and these women, each one has their different type of thing that they do. All these women do things differently. So if you're going to be on a panel with 4 different perspectives of different things, don't you think y'all not going to agree? Don't you think everybody ain't going to agree on this? It's just what it is. So, but I mean, if she doesn't want to have or share a show with Pearl, it is what it is. Pearl's gone now, so.
That has been fucking with me all day because I have prided myself on being real, on being authentic, on being who I am, no matter where I am. And I have not felt like myself over the last couple of days because I haven't been able to say what I've really wanted to say, which is, you might be a nice person, but the shit that you say is divisive and it is dangerous.
Agreed. It's funny because, or not funny, that's I guess like my intro for, I'm still thinking about how to articulate.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's
And I've never heard Pearl say anything divisive. Oh, let me rephrase that. It can be taken as divisive if you're looking at it from a standpoint like she doesn't want me to have a man. She doesn't want me to have a girl. That's not it. That's not it. Pearl talks about a lot of women out here doing bullshit. That's what she does. Pearl calls out a lot of women who doing fuck shit. I did an episode talking about women should check these bitches and hoes. I did an episode on that. Now, I strongly believe that's what should happen. Just like the dudes should check some of the younger generation of guys who's out here doing fuck shit. So Pearl actually puts that into place. Pearl actually goes out here and she's talking to these women and she advocates. I don't want to say she advocates for men, but what she really does is she talks sense. I ain't gonna say even sense. She talks to these women. So that's exactly what she does. Let's just keep going.
it's just such a deep and real conversation, and I think that even again, all the emotions, all that shit, it's necessary because I think one of the things that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Brittany, but one of the things that we crave is just like that realness. And sometimes when people like talk that talk, like do this, do that, like take accountability, do this, do that, and when you talk all this stuff, but then you don't see it actively applied, like back, it's one of the most frustrating things. And then the only like argument or stance becomes like basically now putting you down for circumstances that ultimately were out of your control. And when it comes, like, I feel like that's a level of shame, even if it's being, like slighted or just like between the lines, like cryptically laid out. I think that, to be fair, the thing that I guess am intrigued by, to say the least, and I think that's why everybody has been really enjoying the diversity, I'll say, of the panel because of the polarity of it, which is like, dang, like how do you have conversations with such conflicting viewpoints and people? I think that's a part of what made it interesting. And one of the things that I've always reiterated to you is what I respect about you so much is that you're true to who you are. Like authenticity is really like the thing for me. Mm-hmm. And even like, I've never cared when it comes to like other people's opinions. I don't judge people. And that's also, I think, something that's like a difference is when you feel a sense of like, again, judgment, ridicule, patronizing energy that really is essentially unwarranted because you're making a point that's not being understood. So instead you kind of get attacked, or at least that's how one of the ways I'm interpreting things.
No, I'm not sure if you caught that or not, but she definitely, some of the things that she just said, she did do to Pearl. You know what I mean? Judging. She did judge. She meant, you know what? I don't know, man. It's crazy to me to hear certain things shouldn't come out of certain people's mouths. Okay, so if Brittany is going to sit here and yell, flip, blow up, and do all this, you got to understand some things you can't do online. Some things you can't do to people. You get what I'm saying? What do you think's going to happen? Let's look at this from a business standpoint. Pearl conducted herself in a form of a woman. First off, she didn't get loud. She didn't get crazy. She asked some questions because she was being attacked, but she didn't blow up. She didn't lose it. This is a business. It's a business. You're online. You're showing your true character. Now, I get where this chick is saying, you are your true self. That's authentic. But what are you making yourself look like to the rest of the world? You're supposed to know how to conduct yourself, whether you're here or here. And Pearl has learned how to conduct herself where she does get mad and blow up in front of people, to people, on people. It's different. It's different. If you understand what I'm saying, Brittany is the type of woman that will blow up on anybody, anywhere. Do you want to be the person? I don't care who you are. Do you want to be the person that has to deal with that? Do you think you could be the type of person to have a debate conversation with Pearl? If you can have a debate conversation with Pearl, would you want to try to have a debate conversation with Brittany? There you go. There you go. And all I'm saying is like I said, I like Brittany, but the type of person who can blow up and get emotional like that, they are a loose cannon. They are a problem. They're going to cause a lot of headache and pain. They're going to attack you, tear you down. They're going to run your name through the mud. They're going to say all this shit. They're not going to give a damn how you feel over a debate. A debate. It's a conversation. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Let's keep going because there's a little bit more that's going to be said before I stop this.
So again, I just feel like, for me, you know me, dog. I'm loyal to the soil. Absolutely. I'm loyal to the soil, just like Dallas. No, just kidding.
I want to say this too. I'm not going for none of that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am team humanity all the way. Okay.
Sure about that?
Not trivial, but let's just make it trivial, right? Because it maybe in the grand scheme of us being on this floating rock in the middle of space is trivial, but like even when we talk about topics regarding the WNBA, the reason that we just can't move forward in conversation is because we can't have truthful conversation.
We can't have truthful conversation.
So if
There's
you
no
can't,
accountability
if
on
you
one
can't
side of the
receive
fence.
the truth, and let me tell you something.
Yep.
There have been difficult conversations I've had with people that I care about so much.
Yep.
And I'm talking about screaming matches. I can still hear you though.
Yep.
You can yell at me and I can still hear you.
Yep.
Right? Because that doesn't trigger me because what as
Because
long
you're
as-
still listening.
I'm still listening. I can still hear you. If you're out of 30, that's cool. I can hear you.
Yep.
And for me, that's why we maybe people feel like, why are we talking about this? Why are we looping? It's because we don't want to do this. So it's easier to get up and just walk out and to not want to deal with it.
Yeah,
and so
it's true.
then here we are. Then nothing gets solved. And then
Yeah.
again, at the end of the day, I get there. I am a very passionate person. And I feel like I represent the majority when it comes to experiencing financial woes and hardships and going through shit. And
Hell
when you
yeah.
don't have a rich family, you don't have a sugar daddy, you aren't willing to suck fucking swallow to get an opportunity.
Okay. But you are. I don't want to say that in a rude type of way. Because I don't want to suck fucking swallow. You have videos, Brittany, of going after a certain type of guy and doing certain type of things, and you put that online as a form of getting attention. And if you're not trying to get attention, you're saying something. You're saying something. So you may not act like that, but it shows that's what's going on. She doesn't do that. Man, this is crazy.
When you have integrity, most of the time, your pockets take a hit. So I take that personally.
Especially as a woman.
I take that personally.
Especially as a woman and a
Fuck
mother.
that.
Yeah.
So you gotta stand on the fucking shit that comes out your fucking mouth. If you're gonna be sitting at this desk, you're gonna tell the motherfucking truth.
If
you wanna
it
get
was
really
any
cool.
other way, straight up, like if it would have been any other way, because I pretty much just got thrown for a loop the second that we, were no longer really talking about the topic because it became like, oh shit, this just got deep. Like, I know
Right.
you're sitting here like, well,
I was
can't
like,
get in the
wait.
cat fight. But because it's like one thing I genuinely believe, like obviously you gotta uphold your own personal boundaries and things like that. So yes, we can say there's a display of that, yes. But
outta
again,
here.
I think that for me it was just I agree, because at the end of the day, like this is life, like real talk. And even me, like I think we could all probably admit, like we're learning, we're adjusting, because we make our own rules here.
You know what else I could say?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, though.
Oh, no, it's okay. But I'm just saying, like, we make our own rules here. So it's like we kind of are, having to pioneer. That's really what happens when you're a leader, when you're a pioneer, when you have to bear your cross like Christ, and you got to take those hits and really, like, you go through it to grow through it. Because
Absolutely.
I definitely believe that at the end of the day, it's progress. Even if you got to fall forward, it's like,
I think the other thing to that I will add, and I honestly think this is really good dialogue to have right now. But the other thing I think I will add is, and I'm showing my age a little bit because I'm the old biddy on the show, guys. But
please.
I come from an era before social media, right? So I remember what life was like before social media. And I remember when there were times where you had to have a conversation. There was no, I can say what I want to say behind a keyboard, on a TikTok, on a platform. I have to say those things to the people who I want to say it to. I have to say that to the person. I'm from the cross this line. Cross that. I bet you won't cross that line. Like that's the era we from. I bet you won't cross that. I bet you won't say that about my mama no more. Like that's the era.
And that makes sense. I get that. That makes perfect sense. But here's where you go wrong at. You do that shit in today's day and age online and see what happens. You can't move like that. Cross this line, my ass. You do that on your show. You do that on there, and they will shut your shit down. You can't do that. You can't act like that. I get that's where you come from, but everything nowadays goes online, and somebody will come for your ass because you jumped on this person, because you said something to this person, because you got in this person's face and said something smart, and people know you from this character. They will shut your whole shit down. So you can't act like that. You can't act like that. You gotta look at 50 Cent. Imagine there was a couple there was a couple videos and clips that came out. Somebody jumped in 50's face and 50 snatched him up. Do you know how easy it is to get sued now? Because you are an image, you're an icon. You can't be putting your hands on people no more. Once you become somebody on social media, you can't just do that shit. You got to be careful how you move. They will shut your shit down. So on another note, nobody has to sit there and listen to you talk that shit to them. Nobody has to. They say, you know what I'm saying, you if you can't take it the way that it is, you can't take real shit, you got to get up and run away. Nobody has to sit there and listen to that shit. I wouldn't. There's no fucking way I would sit there and listen to that shit. I would try to talk about it, just like Pearl did. I would try to have a discussion about it, just like Pearl did. I would try to get a couple points across, just like Pearl did. But when you're yelling and she's yelling and she's trying to speak too, and I can't get my point across because now you're just yelling and you're throwing personal shit in there on social media come on now. Now I'm supposed to just sit here and deal with this? Nah, man. Nah. I see where you're going with this. I'm out. You go ahead and you can have this shit to yourself. I'm not finna do it. So I understand Pearl getting up and leaving. And some people will say she'll go talk shit behind a keyboard. You can say that if you want, but Pearl has been demonetized for saying things that were just on the edge of being wrong. Now you guys are doing some of the same shit that she might have gotten canceled for. Y'all ain't on the edge of getting canceled. So, but she can't say this shit no more. You get what I'm saying? It's different, man. It's a different type of ball game.
Era that we're from. And because of that, I think that a lot of the newer, younger era have been able to say what they want to say from a keyboard, from a video. But when you're put in a position where you have to be held accountable for the things that you say and that you've done in person, not via phone, not necessarily via video or an Instagram chat or whatever, when you have to say that in person, sometimes our tunes change. I also think that we sometimes live in an era where you are way too in tune with your brand and you lose who you are. Yeah. And that there may be a point where maybe I started down this road, didn't realize how far down this road I was gonna go, but now I'm so far down this road I can't turn around. Yeah. I can't go back. Right. And you lose a bit of who you are. So there is that equal balance of being able to build yourself and build your brand in this 2024, but also remaining true to who you are. And I think that we can have diverse conversations without losing who we are. But I can't lie, it's been a struggle for me these last couple of days because I've been our producer knows it. Our producer knows it. I've been like, y'all, this is a struggle, right? But we move on because there's still a show to do. So listen.
And we're professionals. At the end of the day, like that's what we are. And it's just, again, I think a testament to our character and things like that. And it's just like crazy how life be life. And like I was like, whoa.
Man, it gets there. What we doing? Get up on that. Fuck out of here.
I would say this. Okay, I have to make a quick comment because while we're here taking accountability for things, I made a comment in one of the previous episodes where I was talking about, the NBA players. I posted it on my page, and I referred to them as fairies. Now, I want to help you guys understand me a little bit and where I come from so that you know everything in Dylan's world when it comes to language has a polar dichotomy, which is essentially another way of saying two definitions on opposite sides of the spectrum. It's kind of like the word bitch, right? So like sometimes we'll be like, yeah,
Endearing.
it's
That's
about the
Yeah.
energy behind it.
Yeah.
Or again, even like nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the energy behind it. Like how are you using it? What kind of energy are you associating and attaching to the word? That's gonna kind of let you know which way of the spectrum it's leaning. And for me, I just want to say that if anybody took offense from the community where, for an educational moment, for those who don't know, fairy can be considered a derogatory term in the LGBTQ plus community because it can be something that's offensive, especially when it's used out of term or out of context or to attack somebody because it's like, oh, you're soft, you're this, you're everything that you're not supposed to be, especially towards like men and things like that. So I just want to say that I don't look at it as fairies as in I'm speaking derogatory, like speaking to you in a derogatory fashion. In my world, what that has meant was somebody is simply just soft. And I think that on the fairy side of things, there are very strong fairies. So if you're not one of the soft fairies, then there's absolutely no reason for you to take offense.
I was thinking Tinkerbell.
So
Yeah, can't be triggered if it's not true.
Honestly,
Can be triggered if it's not true. So I'm just going to stop that right there. But I think you understand what just happened. Again, the reason for me making this little review type thing is because there's different types of women and you got to be careful. So, again, a lot of you guys don't know who Pearl is. Look her up, see who Pearl is, and then look up Brittany, see who Brittany is. Again, I like them both. I don't like the attitude of one. Pearl got a, you know what I mean? She has a way of saying things, but most of it is jokey joke, you know what I mean? But she's that type of person, but she's very upbeat. She's happy. She's not sad and depressed. She's not snappy, ready to fight everything and everybody. She's, you know what I mean? And on the flip side, somebody else is. So you got to pay attention to that. There's a different way to handle different women. You get what I'm saying? I think the way Pearl handled it, I don't see that as a bad thing with this being online. You get what I'm saying? If it was in person and there was no cameras, now I could have seen some hands being thrown and shit being thrown around the room. I understand that, but that is not this. This was online. Pearl's already got people attacking her for saying certain thing that they don't think it should be said. Brittany does too, but the majority of the people that's attacking Brittany is men because of her situation with her baby daddy and people feeling like she was gold digging and all that. So people were attacking her too. They're both being attacked, but I don't know. I just wanted you guys to be able to look at this firsthand and see exactly what it looks like to be the woman who doesn't allow someone else to speak. Brittany heard what she wanted to hear and twisted and turned it into Pearl didn't want to sit here and listen. She wanted to be what does she call her? A fairy? The other chick called her saying a fairy. She didn't call Pearl that, but pretty much say she's a fairy and get up and run out. That's not how that works, man. You can't sit here and say crazy things and expect a person to just have to deal with your shit. Nobody has to deal with your shit. Nobody. I made an episode about that. It doesn't matter who it is. Nobody has to deal with your shit. There's some people that will crack your shit. You got to be careful who you fucking talk to. You know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. I wanted you to see that. I would like to see what you guys think about it. Do you think Pearl was wrong? Do you think Pearl was actually drugged? Do you think they brought her on this show just to attack her and drag it out and really make her look bad? Because all three of them had something to say about it. About Pearl. All three of them had something to say about Pearl. You get what I'm saying? The one chick made it about a race thing, pretty much saying Pearl's white dad. You know what I mean? Damn, dog. You just gonna throw that out there like that? Pearl's dad ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? That man took care of his whole family. But so now he's a problem. That's all bad, man. That's crazy. I don't think that should have came out like that, but it is what it is. You know, you got certain type of people that will attack that way. You know what I mean? Brittany, she's about women. So will she come out and she do what she does? She attack. She came for blood. It's what it is. I'm done with it. Comment, tell me what you think. Till next time, have a good night.
They are so full of the cap, man. I can't take it, need to